Well, hello there and good afternoon wherever you are. Welcome to the SPFL Round. We're into the second match day week of all the Scottish Professional Football League as well. We'll talk about all the key games, including the Scottish Premiership between Kilmarnock at home to Celtic, while Hibs go away to Ibrox in Derek McGuinness's first game in charge. Dundee at their first home game under Walter Van Cote against Dundee United. We'll also look at Dundee against Aberdeen across all the leagues and the Championship Roundup and Leagues 1 and 2 Roundup, including a tasty affair in the Edinburgh derby between the Spartans and Edinburgh City. Joining me
that sounds tasty from what you were posting, Carl. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to introduce Stefan. It is tasty, which we'll talk more about that. But Stefan, how's your couple of days been, especially after doing the championship review, the season preview, with all your predictions, which a lot of us were commenting about.
Considering I'm a bold one at the pack this season, I think. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Very bold. I've got it in the spreadsheet. So once we look at the end of the season, once we do the end of the season review.
Predictions for this in the spreadsheet as well for the.
I know. I blame Microsoft Office 365 for not letting me get back into that spreadsheet, which I'm killing myself now with that because I can't believe, this is why I hate Microsoft a little bit more often. But hey ho.
Well, we tried.
We tried. But yeah, let's kick things off. And do you want to start off with Kilmarnock against Celtic? We'll talk about them.
Well, where do we begin?
Absolutely. Casper who finally broke his dead luck after last weekend.
Yeah, he got a hat trick.
It's got a hat trick in the 5-1 win for Celtic against Kilmarnock as well. And Stefan, there was no Martin O'Neill because he did speak to the team at the hotel before the game, despite he was off duties. He had it.
Well, put it this way, I think we done it for Martin O'Neill. We certainly didn't miss him in the dugout anyway.
No, and it didn't take too long as well. Actually, after the first, within the first 2 minutes when Casper scored from a header, and is that especially is he going to be the worthy outlet that will push Celtic to win another league title?
I think so. He scored 2 goals with his head and 1 with his feet, so it was almost the perfect hat trick. But it wasn't the perfect hat trick, but it was a hat trick. Oh. One second, can you take that going, Shannon? 1 second. You saying?
That's what happens when we go live.
That's what happens when we're live, folks.
No, but other than that, yeah, he's gone in the second minute. I have to say, Killy looked a little bit had 1 or 2 chances, but Celtic just blown it away before halftime. After
goodness me, yeah. I mean, this is why I feel sorry for Killy. They're going to struggle this season. Neil McCann is not. I've seen it last week, and I'll say it this week again. Neil McCann is not the right man to be in charge of Kilmarnock FC. We need somebody that is more of a proven manager than that. I would say, not saying that Neil McCann isn't a proven manager, but we need somebody proven. Premiership level.
Yeah.
Neil McCann's only previous Premiership job was at Dundee, where he didn't do too badly, but you can't judge a man on managing one club in the top league in the Scottish game. Yeah. I really fear for Kilmarnock this season.
I do as well, too, actually, as well. I fear for them as well. For everyone joining, please welcome to hit that like and subscribe button as well. And also, like I said, welcome to anyone who's joining us as well. Please message in as well. And also, send us your Q&A as well, too, actually. We want to hear that as well. And like I said, we've got someone from Perry as well, Q, mentioning, so.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the last time we see that this season.
No, and he also does back up that McCann got his wrong tactically against Celtic as well, and especially with Benjamin Negri scoring from a very stupid
That
bash in
was
the
a really
face.
easy goal for Negro. Not being funny, but what was Strelec doing in the commanding goal? Was he reading a paper or what? Because he just passed it out. Now, I'm not a fan of this goalkeeper pass, defender pass thing. I hate it with an absolute passion. If you're a goalkeeper, what you should do is just put it up the field. Do what you do in FIFA. Don't pass from the back. Either throw the ball or put it up the
Well,
field.
it's not fee. It's not FIFA. Look, Pep's not here now. He's not managed. He's not. So it all
I
started
mean,
with
but
him. But
every goalkeeper has adopted this tactic. No
yeah,
matter where you are in Scotland or England,
that
every goalkeeper adopted this.
that's true, and especially
And
Spain
it
just
doesn't
what.
work.
Well, with just Spain winning back to back, winning the Euros and the World Cup the last 2 years, I think that passage play is not going to go anyway. It might change in the years to come, but we'll see. John Curtis was
Very
asking this question.
interesting, John.
Yeah, how do you think Air will get on Friday night against Killy? Because that is a huge game.
I think Air could beat Kelly, no problem.
Yeah, I feel like they cat me as well. It'd be interesting when I arrive in Toronto on Friday. I'll keep an eye on the scores about the League Cup because that's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
just have your phone on flight mode during the flight and have your Wi-Fi connected, and you'll get the
I won't
score.
need Wi-Fi. I should arrive at 11 o'clock their time, so I'll be like 6 hours behind. So
Oh,
that's not an
okay.
issue. So I'll still keep an eye on it regardless. So yeah.
You'll be all right.
But yeah, I worry for Killy. I really do. I think that fourth goal was it, and then like I said, Scotty Lassen only pulled a goal back for Killy, but Luke McCarron finished off with innocent 5th minute as
I
well.
mean, I'll be completely honest with you, Carl, everyone watching. Kilmarnock, you don't just need investment on the playing side. That's the biggest thing, right? Getting investment there. We could also do with investment in infrastructure in and around Kilmarnock, i.e., fix your stadium, bring it up to standard a bit. Because let's be honest, their stadiums look like that since I can remember. Now, I like old romantic football grounds like Dundee's and possibly Ayr United, to name but a few. But if you've got the opportunity to invest in the infrastructure
Yeah.
and re- rebuild and rebuild your playing squad, excuse my language, folks, but fucking body will do it and get yourself up that table rather than Landerson around the trap door like you have been for the last 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Listen, I know they spent over £1 million to put their new pitch in as well. But you're
Well,
right.
surely if they can spend that amount on the pitch, then they can upgrade some other facilities in the ground as well.
Well, I don't know, especially because it's Billy Wright who was on the club for a long time. I don't
Yeah.
know. Do they look for outside investment like what most of the clubs have done? Look at
Well,
US consortium or something like that because that seems to be the norm now going forward.
perhaps you see, I mean, not being funny. I mean, look at the Turkey Hour Shake and the Lion Sports Group. They were going to plan a takeover bid for Derby County in the English Championship, but
Yeah.
Derby's now off the market, so I don't know if Turkey Hour Shake wants to swerve Derby and go up to.
I don't know. I think Scottish football's not as
never
viable.
know.
I don't know because you look at Scottish football, it's not as viable as like the English Championship when you do have because of value. Because like I said, most of our British clubs are now peanuts now for the US consortium and
Yeah,
Middle Eastern
that's right.
investors. So for
Yeah.
Killy, I don't know what they will do because they're not going to put a lot of money in and try to compete the likes of Celtic. That's the problem. So it's
Yeah.
long term wise, what the Scottish football do? Did they reorganize the league like we've been speaking about for months and months,
Well,
to try to make it a bit more,
yeah, I mean, you'd think that Joe's proposal of what he brought to the Saturday show, or a version of, could be done within the next 5 to 10 years.
And you know what? We'll get Joseph Quinn back on during this season as well. Actually, I would like to, get his perspective. Especially, we'll talk about some of the players after the transfer window's done. We should get him back on because him being the former scout. Yeah, we should get him
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
but the situation for Kilmarnock, if they don't change things quickly, it's going to get very, very dire very, very quick.
Mm,
And
yeah,
a lot of people say, oh, it's not the manager's fault, it's the players. But what I say to that is, at the end of the day, the manager picks the starting 11. He chooses the formation they're going to play. And if they don't carry it out on the pitch on a match day, straight away the manager and the players will be in for ridicule.
yeah. Well, pretty much. Yeah, I think that 2 losses from 2 for Kelly is not good at all, and 2 wins for 2 for the Hoops continue on the title defense as well too. Right, let's move on to the next game on Saturday. It was St Mirren winning 1-0 against St Johnstone after a killing finish converted from the spot to win a St Mirren win, and pretty much, Stefan. St Mirren winners from 2 wins from 2, but it was a tight encounter with St Johnston. St Johnston, also had a penalty given to them, but I have to say, with Alec Gorgit handling the area, but J.K. Chapman powered it away. What do you think of St Mirren's 2 wins from 2?
Well, I mean, St. Mirren fans are entitled to get carried away. They'll have certain dreams and certain hopes going into the next round of the SPL fixtures. But 2 wins from 2 for the side that were in the relegation playoff final last season. Can't fault them so far. Maybe that's what we've needed. Maybe we've just needed a fresh pair of eyes to take over from Stephen Robinson. Not saying that Stephen Robinson's a bad manager because he's not, but maybe we just needed that fresh pair of eyes, and he didn't have to look far because they've just promoted his assistant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think 2 wins from 2 is a good bounce as well
It's a good
as well.
start,
Oh
but
yeah.
the question is, can they keep it up for the next 36 games?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think it's a good start for Clayton McLeish. First, Samir Valkyrie, do you think he's disappointed that he come away with a win there at Paisley on Saturday?
I would say so. I mean, St Johnston always play well, no matter whether they're at home or away. They always put up a fight. I noticed that on the very first day of pre-season last season when they were playing East Kilbride, funnily enough, in the Premier Cup. I watched that game. East Kilbride took a 1-0 lead, and then St Johnstone were like, we've given you a wee courtesy goal now. Now we're going to romp it, and they ended up winning like 5-1 or something against East Kilbride in last season's Premier Sports Cup opener to kick off the campaign. Then they just kicked on in the championship. I think they won. They only drew something like 4 games in the whole season in that championship. Their closest rivals that season were Partick Thistle, and that was 6 points behind them in the end. But
Yep.
St Johnston, pretty much from week 1, they just closed it, and they've continued that form into this season. And I think St Johnston's going to be fine. I think Simo Valkyrie is going to be fine. He's going to be there for at least another 2-3 years at least.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's going to be fine as well too. All right, let's go to the game. Only one game was drawn in 0-0 at Motherwell Falkirk. Falkirk pick up their first Premiership point, and it's still unbeaten against Mirror going back to last season.
Against
But
Motherwell.
yeah, against Motherwell. Sorry, yeah, against Motherwell. Sorry, yeah. A really, really, really good point for John McLean's side. They needed that as well, actually. But like I say, Falkirk grew to the game in the and then Motherwell had much of it, but Falkirk did go into most of the game, and it's a good point for Falkirk.
It is a good point for Falkirk, but from a Motherwell perspective, we would have seen this game at home. The first home game of the season for Alfred Johansson and his team and the new signings. We probably would have seen this as a home banker. But I think playing Thursday, Sunday for a team like Motherwell, I would have said eventually it was going to catch up with them. However, Falkirk went there. Fir Park's a tough place to go.
Yeah.
And Falkirk went there and they got a point. So, out of the two managers, I think John McGlynn would be the much happier manager coming away with a point rather than a defeat.
Yeah, absolutely as well. He's happy with how what he said for his quotes, what he said to after the game. A great work from the whole team. We knew we had to do that coming here. Motherwell passed the ball worked so well, and the bottom line for us was to work hard and make it difficult for them. There were positives to take from the game, given where we were last week. The attitude was great, the commitment was great. That's the minutes that we should get as well. So yeah, quite huge as well. Especially with Motherwell got their conference league game against Helsinki on Thursday. Returning Timo Pukki was a formidable player in for Norwich as well. So yeah.
Now, if you don't remember Timo Pukki at Celtic, where have you been in the last 20 years of football's lifespan? I certainly remember Timo Pukki when he was at Celtic and Norwich, and he just plays teams off the park. But
he does,
again,
yeah.
A credible point from a credible draw rather from Motherwell in Europe. I think for Park, with it being a tighter pitch than Helsinki,
yeah,
I think they could sneak it, They could just sneak it.
Yeah, it's hard to play
they have
for.
to be on their game. My best bet would be, and sorry, Timo Pukki, if you're listening to this on Spotify, but my best bet would be have at least 4 players mark you, and then the rest of the players can sort of play in Pukki.
Well, that's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Count what happens on Thursday as well too. Yeah, it's going to be a good game on Thursday as well. And yeah, but like I said, good point for Falkirk.
Very good point for Falkirk. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely is as well. Right, let's move on to one of the Saturday games at Dems Park, and Dundee beating Aberdeen 2-0. Goals from Joe Bevan, who scored in the second half strike, but also Joe Wesley, to volley, for his volley early on in the game. And I have to say, Aberdeen was very lackluster on Saturday, Stefan. Dundee's picked their first pre-points season. They just look out of their depth on Saturday from the start to finish.
Do you know what? This doesn't surprise me with Aberdeen. It happens every season with the Dons. They'll have a good opening game, and then the next couple will be dips in form. I.e., in about, what I mean by that is, in about 2 or 3 games' time, if they've still not won a game, and they've only won on the opening day against you guys, they'll call for Robinson's head, because that's what the fans are like up there in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And to be honest, and I don't care if Aberdeen fans come after me at all, it's absolutely fine. I can protect myself against you at school.
You have got your electric wheelchair though, so you could like you did in the Scott squad trying to run. So
yeah, that's another story. If you haven't seen it, guys, go and check it out in the iPlay, right? You shameless plug it. But no, getting back to the well, in all seriousness, all credit to Dundee for winning 2-0. Because I actually thought against Celtic that they were pretty spot on with their tactics in the opening game. So they've just built on what was a very positive first week for them. And they've got the 3 points against Aberdeen, and well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved indeed as well. Actually, especially I thought they're looking they should to lose by 1 goal to Celtic in the opening game, but yeah.
And here's something I'm going to predict. if Dundee have a good couple of months, I could see them being dark horses for the Conference League place.
Yeah, I think Stephen Press is playing some good football there, and like I said, the people question it, but the tactics do work for them when they counter attacking, and I think that's something that could be interesting. It could be the dark horses to try to for that look for that Europa Conference
Yeah,
League qualifying spot this season.
and I know what you're saying as well about American owners and things like that, but don't forget, Dundee is kind of a sister club to Burnley, who's owned by Alan Pace,
Yeah,
and
true.
he's got a couple of his guys working in Dundee. I know that for a fact
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because I follow their YouTube channel, just like I follow every other Scottish Premiership club's YouTube channel. Now we're doing the SPFL Roundup.
yeah, they have, and also they've been part with Monterrey as well too, which is another deal that
In
in the
Mexico.
partnership in Mexico. Yeah, so they really do have some.
Wow.
Yeah, so they
When,
really do have good
when
partnership with
was
both.
that announced? Because I didn't hear anything about
It
that.
was 2 years ago, back in November. It was announced. The same,
Oh,
yeah, because January 24, Burley, the pathway, Monterrey the same year. So yeah, it's
so,
kind of having
well,
two
I
partnership.
I'm just wondering if we could see a younger Raul Jimenez coming up to Dundee at some point. Then,
Well, listen. We never know if Jimenez will ever will play back in Mexico. We'll never know. That's a good point. But yeah, we'll see that in the foreseeable future that does happen
yes.
as well. Right, we'll get into our penultimate game of the SPFL Premiership. Steph,
Uh,
let's talk about a game at Tynecastle. Hearts
well,
winning 4-0 against Dundee United.
well, this isn't my game. This is your game, and I gather that you'll be cock a hoop right now, especially with your goal of the season contender from Tom Maynard.
Yeah, what a strike from
What
Tom
a
Renner.
goal!
Yeah.
And
Listen,
I'm not a Hearts fan, folks, as some of you may well know. On the other side, but what a goal!
mm,
The way he hit it, the way it swerved to go away from the Dundee United keeper. Wow.
yeah, Walton had no chance to save that completely. I will admit that one. But what do you think of the second goal, the penalty? Was that the right decision? It was a penalty, even though James McCart was hauled up that by Daniel Benny, and the referee had to go to the VAR and overturn the decision. Do you, Jim Guru, think it was overblown? But what's your take on it?
My take on it is it was a penalty. I mean, if it's as clear cut as that, right? Why does VAR even need to be involved? Surely the referee can trust his own judgment. If he
Yeah,
blows, he gives a foul. There is no need for VAR because it's not like the World Cup where you had about 100 million different people watching countries all over the world. There's no need for ad breaks, so there's no need to go to bloody VAR.
yeah. I know. I was surprised that he went to VAR. It was a clear and obvious penalty. It was, it was no
I
doubt.
just wish referees would, in this country, in Scotland, no matter what level you are, whether it's Sunday League, East of Scotland, Lowland, Highland, whatever, just trust your own judgment, guys.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
given a foul, give it and stick with it. Yeah, you might get backlash, but that's a risk you got to take being a referee.
Does it after what happened last season, especially with the controversial decision happened between Motherwell and Celtic, with the referees a lot more under pressure now after what
Yes,
happened with John
and
Beaton.
and I think that's why we're going to VAR, just so we can double check their decisions. But you think all the time that takes, it takes about 5 bloody minutes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely
we
as
have to
well.
add that on as injury time. So some games at the end of the game you get 10 or 12 minutes injury time. That's like another half. You were talking in extra time terms.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Go back to the game. Claudio Braga did score in the 50th minute. There's been rumours
Yes.
about his future with Braga's future stuff with the player of the season.
Mm.
Hearts want at least £8 to £10 million. Do you think Braga will be there beyond the transfer window deadline day?
Honestly, no, I
I
don't.
I'm
I,
50-50 on this one.
I
But I'm
think
itching towards he might go.
I think an English club, albeit championship or like low level Premier League club, like one of your promoted clubs, might come in for them, or a team in Europe might take them, like in Syria or
I,
France or something like
uh,
that.
yeah, I have the feel. I had the feeling. It depends on if
But
Celtic wants him, and they are. I think Celtic are going for another player from around the same price as well. So it's interesting what happens. It'll be
but
interesting.
but what I will say, Cal, is if he does go, this one's going right to the wire on deadline day.
It will be. It's going to be interesting if it does go down to the wire. Listen, as I said, Braga, he did say a couple of weeks ago, everyone's got their ambitions, so he's not denying the fact as well.
No,
So, but like I
and
said, for why, but like I said,
quite rightly so as well. And incidentally, guys, if you want to catch all the deadline day drama with us right here on the Banter and Beach podcast, we will be doing a special deadline day show.
absolutely as well. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that Celtic link is gonna if that Celtic link is it's not gonna go away, and it wouldn't be surprised on deadline day if
No,
something happens. But one player that just want to discuss about is Josh McPake getting the fourth goal. He's talked about his future. He was questioned about when he joined the club because he didn't play in the Europa League qualifying, and he had a word with the manager. He got his goal. He's given his opportunity. Do you
well,
think he was right for him to call to say how he's felt because he's just joined the club, but he's expecting him to start a bit more?
I mean, he's just coming to the club. You're new to the club. You're not going to start right away. You've got to get yourself up to the speed of the game, how your teammates work, how the club works. And if it takes you one or two games, it takes you one or two games. If it was me, I would have just said, right, fine, I'm playing in this game. I'm going to show the gaffer what I can do.
Yeah,
Um, I actually thought we would played a bit more in pre-season, to be
yeah,
fair. Because I had it on very good authority when he was moving from a very good friend of mine, and you know who it is, Carl. Um, my friend said, "Oh, we're getting McPake from St Johnson," and my friend's partner was absolutely gutted because in the championship, McPake was banging in all the goals for St John's.
yeah. It was.
So
Yeah,
he is a proven goal scorer, but it might just take him a wee bit time to get up to the pace that Hearts play at.
yeah. It's not that. I think because he was on the because he was not included in the European squad for the Champions League against Stone Grants, and he was
I know, but
unused against
he,
Aberdeen. And then I think both Van can is coming with a reputation for being upfront about his players when they're not involved. He said that to Elton Kambangu, who's looked like he's going to leave in this transfer window. We know that Kiziridis is now joined. He's gone to Turkey for 1.7 million deal as well too, as well. So
yeah,
so it's not surprising. He's been up front, and I think that's why I think Kabangu's not been on the bench the last couple of games. So it's going to be a change in the point where it gets to where we are at the end of the transfer window.
here's something for you, Ben. You say that Kizaridis was going to Turkey.
Yeah,
Now,
he's now joined Chrome FK now, so it's done. It was
now,
yeah.
do you think a lot of players will be going to Turkey because there is one player over there that everybody wants to have a go at?
I don't think it is. I think Kizarides ran out of steam last season, and I think that was the point where thinking it was best for
And
parties because he came on a free deal and we've sold him for a profit. So
yeah, but in essence, do you think the Mosella effect will latch on the players and they'll
no,
want to
not
go
really.
to Turkey
No,
now instead
not
of
not
Saudi
really.
Arabia or something
No,
like
not
that?
really. I don't think so. Do you remember what Reese said? There's something fishy about what's going on in Turkey, the way they're buying players because they can't, because the Turkish government has been on pretty much, what Reese said is probably true
Yeah.
because that's probably why it's not just the Mo Salah effect. You could say the same thing when Victor Osimhen went last season and so on the rest of the others. I think it's just where the clubs are not spending money. It's got something to do with what the government has been doing over there. So
Well, that's true, I guess.
yeah. So it's not a surprise at all. But I said, look, like I said, a good win for Hearts will have to do, to keep eye on business because the news that we heard earlier yesterday, 24 hours ago, that the CEO Andrew McKinley, who has not been the best of interest for Hearts, he's announcing that he will be departing as CEO, which I think a lot of fans will question.
Well,
Questioning.
that's
Yeah.
a good move, I would say.
So it looks like we are seeing the Jamestown analytics now bring their own people in. So that's why I'm thinking, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see the change as well. But yeah, good win for Hearts after 5 attempts for Van Ken to get his first win at the start of the season. So yeah, huge, really huge for Hearts as well. And like I said, disappointing for Dundee United after a good draw to get against Rangers. They just really, really struggled in the game on Sunday as well. Right. Do you want to say something, Stefan, before we get to the last game?
No, just well done to Hearts and well done to Bolton getting his first win.
Absolutely.
At
Right,
least
let's get to.
at least he's done one better than you know who.
Well, we are going to get to that. Let's. It's starting to go slowly downhill. The fans are unrested.
Everybody's beaten Wilfred Non's record of 0 wins, even Walter Valkyrie. He's got one win under his belt now at least.
Well, exactly. And compared to our former manager, Derek McInnes, who's under pressure, I think
actually, he's not had any in the SPL yet.
No, after a 2-1 defeat against Hibs at Ibrox, a lot of fans booing after the game. Stefan, give us from his perspective. That win was vital, despite it playing well as well. But yeah,
despite us playing mediocre, you mean, and parking the bus for a lot of game, yeah.
Well, especially going to get to a Rangers side who have got the ability to score well. Not if you're Shankland, and now, yeah.
I tell you something, though. Pandor, the ex-Hull City goalkeeper, not up to Rangers standard in my eyes.
No, listen, Pandora, he's gonna be caught out completely.
That piece of business for Rangers, between Rangers and Hull, and selling Jack Butland to Hull and bringing him in. Oh no!
It was basically a swap deal, to meet the. I thought, why it just did not make sense. But you guys only had 25% possession, pretty much. Can I say the penalty? I saw the penalty when I saw it after. It was very controversial because it did seem like it was nothing between the two players. It should have just let the referee just let it play on. But give me your biased version. You're gonna say it's a penalty.
The only reason the penalty was given because something was said in Don Robertson's ear to stop the play while we check this incident. And lo and behold, about 2.5 minutes later, we come back and you give a penalty. Now, if the referee's waved play on, and the game's been going on for a significant amount of time, like a good 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, whatever, don't pull the play back. because that could change the entire complexion of the game. Especially if your team is 1-0 up and you're playing very well and you're in possession, then you just stop it and you're like, why? Well, you stopped it for there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And because it's not like rugby
No.
where you can't hear what the referees are saying.
Actually, you can now, compare. Oh, well, in rugby you can, but not in football, not in the Scottish Premiership. No.
No, but that has to be the next innovation of VAR, is allowing people watching it on their TVs to hear what the referees are saying.
Yeah.
And to hear the people in the VAR studio giving their thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with Dragovic, because he expected, he thought he could get away. But like I said, but Jason Kerr and Dragovic were holding each other, and I don't know if it was the way Kerr went down that made the referee.
I think it was the way Jason Kerr went down that made them stop and look at the incident.
Yeah, it pretty much was.
In fairness to Josh Campbell, well taken penalty, but like I say, ever Pandor for Rangers? No. Good God, no.
No.
And I'm sorry, Reese, I'm sorry if you're cursing what I'm saying right now, but I think deep down, you know that that's true as well, Reese. Your goalkeeping situation is terrible. Think back to the glory days of Lionel Charbonnet, Stephen Kloss, Ronald Batidus. You had all the top European keepers, and now you've got Pandor from Hull City.
Listen. I don't know who decided that signing. No one knows. Like I said, because Hull had to needed to sell him for £6 million.
Who authorized that signing must have had taken
Rangers
some
Rangers was the only team that could offer the £6 million that Hull needed because Hull had a deadline for their financial stuff. They have to, So
I get that, but it doesn't mean you have to buy rubbish quality of player. He's just not cut out to be a Rangers player.
Well, yeah, I listen. I get that. I think, time will tell because, like I said, who did they have in can take up the sticks behind?
Well, we don't. That's the thing.
Because like what we've talked about with Reese in the past about this, and about the quality where the goalkeepers that they should have kept, who have gone on loan.
Exactly.
You got Liam Kelly, who is still on the contract.
No. He's not a Rangers player in my eyes either. He's not up to Rangers standard of quality.
So who do they bring in that's going to be the standard there? Because Liam Kelly has been there for nearly 2 years now, and he's only had to, and and like I said, he come back from overwhelm. What do they expect?
I would say for Rangers, you need somebody a cross between the blueprint of Craig Gordon and the safe hands of Rocky Marciano that played for Hibs.
You're comparing someone from your club, that's Rangers' high standards, right?
No,
so
you know what I mean? Those two keepers done really well for the respective clubs over the years. So you need somebody that's proven to be able to play at the highest level for one of the highest clubs in Scottish football.
Well, yeah, well, you know what?
A safe pair of hands. And it was proven with the second goal.
Well,
from
listen.
Hibs.
Well, listen, Robin McCrory was released from Rangers 2 years ago. So was there was another goalkeeper, John McCaughlin is also gone there, who's now down at Middlesbrough, so and he's the oldest. It seems back and forth they can't find the right goalkeeper. In the last season they had, alongside Lee Kid, there was Kieran Wright, who's now a free agent. So in a way, where is Rangers going to find a top quality goalkeeper for the price that they want? That's going to be caught, and especially they're going to be caught out just like some of the other goalkeepers when they come from abroad to Scottish football.
Do you know what? I have no idea, but we need to act fast because otherwise, McInnes is going to be out of a job. Rangers are going to be languishing down the table. They're not saying that if a new manager came in, he couldn't rise him up the table like Danny Rose effect, but Danny Rose gone to Wolfsburg. So we need to act in the transfer market now. We can't wait to the Scottish club's favourite day of deadline day. We need to act fast.
They do. Listen, and looking at Pandua's, when he joined.
I am laughing inside, just not outside.
Yeah, I know you are.
But they need to act like now, otherwise they're going to be in trouble.
Well, here's the thing. Pandua was last season, the season before. I think it was last season. It was season before. He actually was linked with some clubs like Leicester, as well as Werder Bremen and Parma, and even Middlesbrough want to meet the £5 million. So he had a release clause, and West Ham was the interest as well. I'm just surprised he's, yes, he had his poor performance at the start of last season for Hull, which was so leaking, and all things changed and they got promoted. But I do agree with you. Are they going to have to look for another goalkeeper? Probably not, because they spent £6 million. They're not going to waste another £6 million to find another goalkeeper. So that's another problem. So I just don't know. I think
$6 million for him, that was foolish.
Well, listen, you say it's foolish, but like I said, Hull had to meet the criteria. Rangers could have not paid £6 million, but they have the money because of the owners, which owns Leeds United. So
I would design them for maximum of £1 million.
Yeah, but this is Hull City, Hull Premier League team. They were not going to just like decide. If you're the Hull owner, you want at least that maximum of especially you got the team. You wanted to promote teams that got to the Premier League. So what do you expect them to do? They could have not, like I said, they could have not paid it, but they know what, because Hull needed the money, and they needed. I don't think there was anyone else that was close to that maximum.
I've just had a thought of who Rangers could get as a goalkeeper.
All right, go on.
Oh, Nana, what's my name?
No, he's in Turkey, and I think he's joining a permanent deal. So you guys want the full your money back for the money that you paid for his ass. So just remember that. Listen. I think Pandua will become a good goalkeeper in time, but because he's not playing
in like 3 or 4 seasons time.
Yeah, but hold on, he's 26. Not all goalkeepers could become great at age. It'll probably take time to him to get to to his peak and become But for now, he's in a situation that he's got to deal with this. Fair?
Yep.
Right. So you can't judge it by the book after 2 games at least. Well, you can in football terms. In Scottish football terms, you can. But listen, like I said, Derek McInnes is under pressure, and like I said, if he doesn't,
he's already got fans turning on him. By the way,
listen, those Rangers fans, I'm going to be controversial. They don't know what they want. What do you want? Do you want to run the club like you do, in a way like how you run your fans? Please tell me, because it's like you don't know what you want. It's like if you're gonna go through a manager every season, why don't you run the club and then you see what happens? Then can you take the flak? Probably not. So you might as well
put your comments under this video and let us know, because that would be very interesting, actually.
Yeah, I know. Right. Well, that one, I don't know. It's questionable what happens with Rangers. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah.
All I know is if they don't pick up wins, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I know exactly. They pick up the wins, they're really in trouble as well.
And it says something that you can go to Ibrox, have 25% possession in the entire game, and still win the game.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true as well. You can do all that as well. Right, let's get into the championship roundup, Stefan. And actually, do you know what? It's probably after last week we both had a bit of a miserable weekend. You, me, even Reese, and probably the only person who had a good time was Doug because Livingston did win their
Not
first game.
now.
Not
Not this
now,
week.
not this week.
Sorry,
So
that boy.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
thrashed by Parting 2-0 at
It was
home.
a Friday night game as well,
Well,
actually, as well,
and it
Stefan.
was on the telly.
Yeah.
Eh,
Good way for Partick Thistle completely. They needed
Very
they
good one.
yeah. And like I said, are they gonna be one of those teams gonna be they've 2 wins for two now for Partick Thistle. It's a lot of ride on Partick Thistle as long as the other teams below that is gonna get promoted. Is this win gives them the momentum to like really kickstart this season?
I would hope so, but if I'm being truthfully honest, I can only see Partick in the playoff picture again at the end of the season. And yes, I could see them making the final. I mean, I am looking into my hypothetical crystal ball because we've still got what? No, it's not a 30 game, it's a 35
35?
game,
Yeah,
34,
35.
35,
Yeah, 35. Yeah, yeah.
35 games. We've still got 33 games left of the championship season in Scotland. And I can only see Partick
Yeah.
being in and around the playoffs.
Absolutely. We are from Ace at Saint. We are from Scotland. Both of us. We both live from Scotland. We live in the same city, but we are from Scotland. All yeah,
Yes, and welcome in. Great to have you with us.
absolutely as well. Really welcoming as well. Like I said, you're right about Pat Fizz. Their maximum is probably the playoffs if they can get to the final. It depends which team is going to be the playoff in the Scottish Premiership. They might have a good chance, But like I said, I
Well,
think Livingston.
we said that last season, and we said that when they played Ross County 2 seasons ago, they were 3-0 up from the home leg. Ross County came back and won that tie in the second leg.
Yeah, absolutely as well too. Wraith Rovers get their first win of the season as well. They won 2-1 away at Queen's Park. And listen, they're in this hunt as well to try to get back up this season under Dougie Emery as well. For them, the season before they had the chance to get qualify. Are they going to be the general contenders to challenge,
Yeah,
just Partick and Livingston because they do deserve to be in the Premiership? Wraith
they
Rovers.
do. I think it's going to be between, if you're talking genuine contenders, Raves Rovers, Partick, Livingston, Dunfermline, and Ayr.
Yeah.
That's my pick for challenging. As in who's going to get automatic promotion, at the end of the day, I think Livingston's just going to be too strong. Yes, they're going to have whips along the way like any club, but over the piece, I think Livingston's going to be far too strong. I think Livingston is going to be the new proverbial yo-yo club, as one of our panelists determined it on the championship preview show on Sunday.
Absolutely as well. Let's go to the other game that we competed. That we talked about. We just talked about the two close Dunfermline and A United. A United getting a draw against Dunfermline, which is 1-1 draw. It's a slow start for Neil Lennon's boys. Are you particularly surprised with the two draws they've had on the bounce?
No, I'm not, because after all, it is Dunfermline. Obviously, me knowing Neil Lennon from his time at Hibs, he would have wanted to go into this season all guns blazing, but sometimes when you've worked your way up and down the leagues as Neil Lennon has, Dunfermline, and I know Reese hates this word and you hate this word, you know what I'm going to say? Dunfermline is a project and they want to do it organically. This came out of Neil Lennon's mouth when I seen him on a Facebook reel. This came out of Neil Lennon's mouth. They want to do it organically, whether that takes them 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. They want to do it when the time's right. We want to spend money in the right ways, and we want to bring in the players that will fit best for the club.
Yeah.
So if he has a slow start, he has a slow start. But I think in the end, they'll come good and they'll be in the playoff picture too.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting season. We'll try. I'm going to catch up a lot more championship games this season as well. The other two results as well. Stenhouse beat against Green at Martin 2-0, and it was a 0 draw at Gayfield Park between Arbroath and Inver Cali Thistle as well. And yeah,
Well done for Stenhouse Muir, by the way.
yeah, good way for them. Absolutely. Well, the big news
I
we'll talk. Yeah,
I think we could be a surprise package, you know.
absolutely. Well, there's one thing we didn't talk about before we move on to the Scottish Leagues 1 and 2. Rangers have got some bad news, especially Yusuf Terramenti. He was linked with a transfer move, and there was a bid rejected for Terramenti on the day of the
This is
game.
hilarious.
The day of the game against he was, you know, he had a bid rejected, and then minutes later he's now out with an ACL injury. He's now out for the rest of the season. This is it. It cannot be worse happening something to like him on the same day. You bid there was a
And do you
bid was
know how much
rejected.
the bid that was rejected was?
9 million, wasn't it? Around about 9 million. No, 22 million
No,
pounds, wasn't
it
it?
went up to £22 million. Then for that, you could have bought half a new team.
Well, listen,
And
it's
then,
surprising it happened, and then all of a sudden he goes down with it. He goes down with the
and
ACL.
now he's in a moon for a significant period of time. The only thing he'll be doing is moonwalking to Michael Jackson songs.
Damn, man, that's cold, man. That's cold from you, bro. Damn. Oh, yeah, that's surprising because for what Andrew Kavanagh said, he expects Rangers to have a
It
busy end to
sounds
the
bad
season.
though, to be fair. He's totally ruptured his ACL, is gone.
Yeah, and like I said, Andrew Kavanagh expect 3 to 5 more signings, and now because this injury, they might need one more signing now because of this. Because this, yeah,
I think they'll need to be because you can see it. Rangers rely heavily on Yusuf Chermity. They rely on him to do the business. He's done the business against Celtic. He's done the business in the Europa League, the Conference League, whatever European competition they've been in the last season or so. Chimity's done the business. And now, with all joking aside, now with him out for a significant period, we're going to have to buy somebody. Or at
yeah.
least get somebody in on loan.
Well, do you know what? Rangers could have done something because actually Sevilla have done something. They have bought a Scottish striker, Stefan.
So they've bought a what?
Sevilla,
Not a foreign striker.
they bought a Scottish striker, Robbie Ure, from the Swedish league leaders IK Sirius for initially of £5.5 million and plus two up front as well. He already become the third Scottish-born player for Sevilla to play after Ted McKinn in the 1980s and Duncan River Thompson. And actually, he's eligible for Ukraine, but he's waiting for a Scottish call up. This is he scored 15 goals last season for them as well. This season, yeah.
Well, if he's eligible for Ukraine but wants a Scottish call up, somebody else I want to see given his chance in the Scotland jersey is a very young player for Hibs. Now,
He started go on, yeah.
His name doesn't sound Scottish, and I promise you guys, we will get on to the League One roundup in just a minute. But his name doesn't sound Scottish, but it's Scottish by his parents and by his birthplace is Rudy Milotnikov.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot that he
is a good player.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just the fact that for some reason SDJ doesn't give him consistent runs in the squad.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Absolutely. So, listen, we will talk briefly about just the last couple of, do about Leagues One. I'll talk about League Two. So let's do a brief on League One in the next 5 minutes, a couple of minutes. Well, a good back-to-back wins for both Hamilton and Ross County as well. They did beat Ross County beat Montrose 2-1 and Hamilton beat Alloa 1-0. PT ahead went away and beat Queen of the South 1-0. East 5 beating Cove Rangers 2-0, and it was a 1-1 draw between Adrian's East Kilbride as well. And let's go into Scottish League 2, Stefan. I'll talk about my match review.
I wonder why. We're going to leave Johnny, but let's go.
Well, so yes, it was the early the season. It's usually not usually early season, but Edinburgh. It was the over Edinburgh derby.
Edinburgh derby, wasn't it? The mini Edinburgh derby.
It was the over Edinburgh derby between the Spartans and Edinburgh City. Edinburgh City took a lead from Ricky Vaughn, who scored. It was a bit of a worldie from the 20th minute, and tempers did flare up between both these sides, Stefan. I will say there was a lot of tackles where the bench but both sides of the bench got involved completely.
And this was at Spartans ground at Edinburgh City, was it?
It was at Aisley Park at the Vancouver Community Stadium. Yes, yeah, it was. It was quite live. There was over 500 people there at the game, actually. So it was quite a good, decent number.
But I tell you, 500 people can make a lot of noise in that week in, by the way.
Well, let me be clear, honestly. Spartans didn't make a lot of noise. Other than the young boys had their, with all the band and stuff at the far end at the goal.
Yeah, the Spartans ultras.
But actually, Edinburgh City made most of the noise completely, actually. So, and you wonder why. It took, and then it was flares all over the place. The tackles were so horrendous. It got the officials were not good.
As League 2 standard officiating, pal. Come on.
It felt more than it was lower than a League 2 standard, man. It was a lot lower than that. I'm not gonna lie. And especially
you football Sunday League stuff, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty much, yeah. And then also, I think there was so many yellow cards. I think there was about, I'm trying to remember how many yellow cards. There was about 11 yellow cards in that total of the game as well.
What the hell?
And there was more than, I think it was more than 30, about 28 fouls committed between both these sides. So, and actually, we
14 fouls each. You joking me?
It was 70 fouls. So 70 fouls committed by Edinburgh City, 11 by Spartans. But Edinburgh City had more shots on target than us. We all had 5 shots and 2 shots on target. They had 3.
Here's one freak out. You read it again. If Spartans don't get promoted this season, do you think Dougie Samuel, aka Mr. Spartans, will still be in charge next season?
That is a good question. He's been the longest serving manager across all the 4 leagues.
Well, that's why I called him Mr. Spartans, because
listen, it's a must-win. It's a must-win season for us now completely. And with
he's got Bride out the road, you should romp this week now.
I hope we do.
You should romp it.
Yeah, no, we should do. But Elgin City was a good side last season, and like I said, they got a draw over this weekend as well, and 4-5 led to. The thing is, I would say is, I think the way we played is we get caught up. It's more like the final third we get caught up when there's a chances. Even though we did get a penalty through Matt McNulty scoring, and then White,
I forgot he played for you.
Yeah, McNulty is still playing for us, So it was quite again until Lawson scored for equalised for Edinburgh City. I thought Edinburgh City was going to struggle this season. I still think they will struggle this season.
I was going to say on the flip, how do you think Edinburgh City will do? Because bear in mind they survived
through the playoffs. Yeah,
the playoff against who was it now? Clydebank?
Yeah, Clydebank. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Clydebank. Yeah, listen, I worry about them a little bit more. I think this time they will go down. I think they were looking after the 15-point deduction last season to get away with it. So
but that's not carried over into this, is it?
No, it's not because they actually overturned that 15-point deduction after beating us last season. That to when they got to 0, so they stayed up. So the thing is, right, I think we overturned that, after 70-something minutes, we scored 2 goals in the space of that time. we did keep up. We lost focus, and then after the last 5 minutes, we just the bloody equalised Edinburgh City, and especially we had a new sign, Ricardo Dinger, who's on loan from Shrewsbury Town. I think he looked a little bit lively as well, So I'm hopeful he could be, helping the position up front because we need yeah.
Tell you what I'll do. Hibs aren't playing in the second round of the Premier Cup because we don't come in yet until round 3, I think, just with our commitments in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if Spartans have a game on and it's at home on that weekend, I'll come and watch it. Yeah, because I want to see it.
Yeah, we'll have to plan to get some time off with my bloody radio stuff. So yeah,
come through 1 week won't kill, man.
Well, I have to. Well, that's fine. I can. I think this season, because of the international break, so I am gonna try. I might use the time off because of the international break with the radio stuff as well, because there's nothing to do other than the League One, League Two stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I could miss 1 week actually for to just Especially I might actually to cover for me because I'm planning some stuff with both the Andrews and Doug to go to Glasgow for a week for either on a Saturday to have some drinks, at one of the sports bars.
Yes.
So I might have to actually to cover. So
I'll do that. As long as Hibs aren't at home, I'll cover for you. As long as Hibs aren't at home, I'll cover.
Absolutely. Well, the plan is because of Spartans play midweek games, I can get to the midweek games without any issues. So that should not be an issue. So yeah, because the next
people on Saturday as well.
Yeah, because this Saturday, because they're bloody away this weekend to Stranraer. So yeah, when I'm back, they're back at home, which is the same day I make my radio debut at 3:00 against Elgin City. So yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Listen, we'll find out when I can do a couple of Spartan games across the season on when I'm doing my radio stuff, even though it's at 3:00 and I gotta be on at 4. So yeah, give it take.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Let's get on to the tables, Stefan, which we should do actually.
Yes, we should, yeah.
Right. Get this shared up on the screen and as well, because we got to discuss where everything is at the moment. So let's go into the Scottish League 2 table as well. Like I said, Edinburgh City still bottom of the table, but Elgin and Spartans and 4 level on points for Stowe on 3, alongside with Clyde and Celtic Hearts and in Athletic and
Kelly's not doing too bad actually.
And actually, Edinburgh City is still on -4 points because they did get deducted for -4. 5 points on the club's insolvent efforts. So yes, they are on points deficit, Stefan. So you're definitely right about that one.
They tried to insolve Edinburgh City again.
Yeah, absolutely. They went through that again as well. So they did go through that again.
Whatever. Absolutely. I can see within 2 years Edinburgh City not being around.
No, neither do I as well. And I put some background music while we'll do the table as well. So since we are on, so let's go to Scottish League 1 as well. Hamilton and Ross County, the OTT, still on 100 unbeaten run with 6 points. East Kilbride and 5 behind them and 2 points behind. Montrose and Greenock still winless after 2 losses as well. And then into the Scottish Premiership. It is 2 wins for 2 for both
Championship,
Celtic. Yep, championship 2 wins for 2 for both Celtic and St Mirren as well. Motherwell drawing it as well. They're still staying third. Hearts get their first win and now a point up behind them alongside with Dundee and St Johnstone. Hibs are still bottom due to their goal difference as well. With Aberdeen Rangers, still a 1 point. Rangers 1 point behind. Sorry, and then Kilmarnock, the other team that still got knocked that point.
Rangers are 9. Ouch.
Yeah, absolutely as well.
They need to do the championship table too.
Absolutely, yeah, they do. It's disappointing as well too. So yeah, Stefan, that is us.
No. What about the Scottish Championship?
Oh, I did do the Scottish Championship. Oh, they did the Scottish Championship. You're right. Sorry about that.
You skipped it.
I did skip it for everyone. I think
But anyway, what's the table? You can just tell us.
and he's the table as well. So Partick, the only team with an unbeaten road with 2 wins from 2, getting a draw, standing through with their first win on
Weapons getting 5th. Ooh.
Yep. With Queen's Park and Greenock Martin, the only 2 winless teams in the championship as well. So yeah, absolutely.
I reckon it'll be between Queen's Park and Arbroath for relegation, you know.
We'll see as well. And listen, also this week, there's not a lot of Scottish games on this week because it is the Scottish League Cup as well. So, like I said, Kilmarnock at home to Ayr United, so they will be playing over the weekend. Only 3 games in this, Scottish League Cup between Aberdeen and Dundee, Dunfermline against Ross County, Dundee United against Celtic as well. The games in League One and League Two as well. Key games: Hamilton against Adrianians at home, Montrose go away to Athletic, while Edinburgh City go away to Dumbarton, and then Stranraer at home to the Spartans as well. So there is no Premiership games across this weekend, and then in the League Cup as well, Hearts at home to Invercargill Thistle, Hibs against Partick Thistle, Stanley against Motherwell, and Rangers against St Mirren as well. So yeah, and then we'll be back the following week with the Scottish Championship with Inverness against Partick Thistle at 7:30 as well. Then the 22nd,
that'll be on the telly that game as well.
It will be on 10. And also 3 games in the Scottish Premiership match be postponed as well. So Hibs all at home to Kilmarnock, where Motherwell against Aberdeen, and then 7:05 kickoff between the Dundee derby between Dundee United against Dundee as well. And then, like I said, due to the lead of the Scottish League Cup and also the Europa League as well too. So yes, that is all the round fixtures coming up over the next week and a half or so. But as I said, I won't be back on next Tuesday. Well, depends how I feel on next Tuesday, Stefan, because I am going to be jet lagged.
I could do so, or we could have a week off because there is not many games. It's a week cup action.
Absolutely right. We'll take the week off there. So this next week it will be the week off completely as well, because we have got no games because it's Scottish League Cup. But like I said, we'll be back on the week after the following week.
Yes. And of course, when we come back, the week we come back, we can add another week into this equation as well, Carl.
Yeah, and we will do as well.
And the Scottish Women's Premier League, because it starts on the 16th.
Yep, that we will cover that as well too. We'll get the Scottish Women's Professional Premier League as well too to cover as well. So yeah, we'll be back after next week as well. So. But like I said, I will be away in Toronto for doing the upcoming shows this week coming up.
Because good luck, my friends. Hope it all goes well.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Like I said, you will see.
Please.
I will. I had no problem at all. You will see Stefan this weekend on the Championship Review with Michael, Annie, and Nathan to do the
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Sunday on the Banter Books podcast, as well as on Stefan's channel, the Wheelie podcast as well too, on YouTube and on Twitch as well, on the channels as well. But like I said, thank you for everyone who's messaging as well. If you are new to the show,
thank you guys.
Hit that like and the subscribe button as well. Please do. We want to get more people. We're now over 150 subscribers now, so we want to get that number going as well too. And and if you missed this show, we will put it on our Spotify podcast along with the Championship Review later this week as well. If you missed it as well too. So, like I said, I will see you guys in a fortnight's time as well on the SPFL Roundup as well, and then and you'll see Stefan on the Championship Review. But that's all we got time for.
Sunday night, 8 o'clock, guys.
Absolutely, Stefan. Thank you for that. And you say you're in charge of everything this weekend. But that's the rest of us done. We will see you guys in 2 weeks' time with the SPFL Roundup. And it's goodbye from me.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye for Stefan. Bye-bye.